And the Matrix. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to start with Google Hangouts, but what this is the follow-up to last week's training about how to do interviews. So today I'm actually going to walk you through, without hopefully getting dizzy, man, looking at that screen there, but I'm going to walk you through all the technical side of everything that you need to do and need to learn and all the fancy stuff and the great things that we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about Blog Talk Radio, Google Hangouts, and then I'm going to show you how to use all this stuff together. So right now, obviously, we're on a Google Hangout. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us on here right now, and I'm recording this so that you can catch the replay and reference it as well. But let's just start first things first. If you can see my mouse, then on the left-hand side, this bar contains all your applications. I'm not a Google Hangout expert, right? I just know that the things that I'm going to show you today are all that really matters. That's all that's mattered for me so far, right? And so on this box over here on the left, the first thing you can see right here is screen share. Or the first one that you see that's lit up and colored is screen share. It looks like a TV screen with an arrow in it. You can download it by just clicking on it. And what that does is it gives you a few options, as you can see right here. Oh, it took me off because I clicked on it. But it allows me to either use my video camera, use this screen that I'm showing y'all now, or even use just the internet, or even a PowerPoint if you want to set it up. So it gives you a couple different options. But as you know, you can get your clients on here as well outside of your agents and everything. But you could get your clients to join you on one of these Google Hangouts, and you could literally go through your whole Encompass or your whole Point, whatever you use, system with them right there in front of them, record it and shoot it to them, and keep it all private, right, so that they can reference it or whatever in the past. So that was one thing that Dion and I talked about last week, was using this to actually be able to take a loan application and your clients be able to see the exact same things you see, like when their debt to income ratio, or how much money you put in there, or where you came up with the finances. So I think that would be a pretty powerful. Obviously, Google Hangouts is new, so it's not something I've ever done. You probably want to check with your branch manager or whoever the case to make sure it doesn't violate anything by recording it or whatever. But it seems like it'd be a great way, if nothing else, just to be able to go over the application and everything with them, even if you can't record it. Because right now, this is only being recorded from my computer. It's not streaming to YouTube or anything like that. Only y'all that have the link are invited to it. So it's a private hangout. And all right, so thank you for just joining us. If you want, in the upper right-hand corner, you can hit the mute button, and feel free to unmute yourself and ask at any time. And then right next to it is the camera button. If you don't want your video camera on you and you just want to have like a fancy picture like Brandon does to your left, I believe, then you can do that as well. All right, so this green thing right here, screen share, is important to download. The next one is called Hangout Toolbox, and it looks like a wrench and like a lunch pail or whatever. And what it does is, that's this right here, the Hangout Toolbox. So for you guys, where it says lower third right here, you see it says Ryan Stewman, and then I can go www.hardcorecloser.com as my website, right? Because that's what I'd want to advertise. And I can go back over here to, oops. Sorry, I have to switch views so y'all can see it in action. All right. And so as this comes on here in a second, hit the microphone in the upper right-hand corner. There we go. You see how I made that pop up just by turning it on there? And so that way, if you're hosting an interview or whatever the case may be, then you're able to turn that on so that they can see you. And if for the replay during the interview, it just looks a little bit more professional. So let me turn that off real quick, and I'll show you exactly how I set that up. All right. So again, over here, that was where my name was, obviously. That's where I put the website. You can even choose whatever color you want. I'm going to mute Jeff out there. Hang on one second. Brian there. All right. You've got the different colors you can choose to make the whatever. So if while they come on your interview, if you want to make it pink for them, if it's a female agent or whatever kind of fancy pants stuff that you want to do. And then all you got to do is just turn it on. And if this was showing my picture right now, and you guys can go ahead while you're watching this, you can go ahead and type your information in there and turn it on now and see if it shows up on your screen. If it shows up backwards when you turn it on, all you have to do right there is hit mirror my own video, and it'll flip it around to where you actually see the same thing that your audience sees, right? Because usually when you turn it on, it'll have your name spelled backwards and your website backwards, but your audience will be able to see it. So if you hit this mirror my own video, it makes you see the same thing as your audience. The only thing is, when you're in that mirror my own video, when you veer to the left, the person on the other side of the camera veers to the right. So as you watch yourself, it's a little weird at first. So, all right, the next thing is we've got the Hangout Toolbox. If you want to get a custom overlay, and a custom overlay looks like this. Let me switch back again. So I'll turn this off. A custom overlay looks like this. Nick makes these for the show or whatever. And so, switch back over. And so that's done right here. So those custom overlays, it just asks you, let me turn it off here. It asks you just to choose a file. Now you can go to Fiverr.com, which I'll show you here in a couple minutes how to do that. But you can go over to Fiverr, Fiverr.com like we talked about last week. And you can get one of those overlays if you want a fancy one like that done for $5. Just search Google Hangout overlays or Google Hangout custom overlays. There's plenty of designers back there that can grab the dimensions and the code that'll be more than happy to do that for $5. So that's basically all you need to know about setting up Google Hangouts. Here's a way to get yours and the person you're interviewing's labels set up to where you look a little bit more professional. It's also going to give you this view that we have right now. So the predominant person talking, so as you're asking the questions, it's going to show up on the screen right here. And then as the person that stops answering, or the person, as soon as they start talking and answering your questions, then it shows them up on the screen like that too. Hey! And so, Google is smart enough to figure out wherever the sound's coming from, that's the predominant person that it displays. Hence why I ask everybody to mute themselves in the beginning. The next thing is this link right here is the link that I copied for y'all to join this. Only the people that have this specific link, like that all of us got here, only the people that have this specific link can see this Hangout, right? So if you're not down here on the bottom, then you're not seeing this Hangout right now. It's not indexed by Google or showing up public or anything like that. And so, like I said, if you want to use this just for your other side of business to free up time instead of driving or whatever the case may be, if you want to show your clients, whether they're buying a house or refinancing, if you want to show them how Encompass works and the debt-to-income ratios and ask them the right questions so they get an idea of what you're doing, I think that educates them really well and would be helpful. And you can bring them back here. Nobody else is going to see their social security numbers or anything like that. But this is the link to give them to get them to join this. Again, here's the microphone for mute. This turns the camera on and off. And then I showed you how to share your desktop. That's basically all you need to know about Google+. Now, as far as how it works, you can go to https, obviously, plus.google.com/u/o/ and that takes you, oh no, I'm sorry. Damn, I gave you the wrong URL. /Hangouts, and that takes you directly to the live Hangout page. So as you're doing an interview with an agent or a financial advisor, divorce attorney, whoever it is that you're interviewing in your sector, your niche, for your show, it's streaming across here as well. Like these are live shows. Now the show that we're on right now is not streaming live across here because, like I said, we're in a private deal because I don't want y'all pay for this, and I don't want the world to know this information. There's no telling how many sneaky people might try to get this from us. But if you go as a Hangout, an online deal like I do on Fridays and like I'm recommending y'all do for interviewing your agents if you're going to go the video route, then it streams live through here and people can just chime in, rate it, ask their questions. And this, all the stuff that Nick Carpenter on the Social Media Maniacs, this is all the stuff that he handles and takes care of in the background. answering people's tweets and things like that. So, and all you got to do is just hit Start Hangout on Air, and you can see that it just pulls up. See, I'm already in one, but it pulls up, and it's going to give me the same link right here. Well, not the same link, but the link is in the same location right here to be able to copy and paste it for people to join. And then if this would have been a live video, a live hangout, there's another link right here that says YouTube, and it says embed, and it goes right here. And so you can get a link or a link to embed it on a website, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. But the link right here, not this in the URL, but the link that it gives you for YouTube is what you want to share for people to be able to find your show, because that link's going to go to your YouTube channel. So I just want to be really clear. If you give everybody this link right here that I have highlighted right now, they join the Hangout, right? Just like y'all are joined. If you give people the link that'll show up down here that says YouTube and embed, then that'll allow people to watch it only from YouTube and not be able to join in, which is probably what you're going to want for your interviews. All right, so, but then like I said, then your live interview will come across here, and it'll get streamed, whatever the word is, streamed at the same time, recorded and uploaded over to YouTube. I'm going to show y'all some behind the scenes numbers that I get and kind of explain how all this works. And, you know, you get to see what's really going to happen, because I'm going to show you my own stuff. So as you can see, not every video that I send out there gets a ton of views, right? It's not about the quantity of views you get, it's the quality of the people just like y'all that reach out from them. And so this is an example right here of a hangout after the fact. So, so you see, we taught Kate how to put up her banner right here. We told her, hey, Kate, and she knows what she's doing, but she had never been on a hangout before. And this is like one of the most authoritative, people in the social media niche, and she had never done one of these hangouts. We were her first person, and she's like literally probably the most popular person for Facebook training. And she just happens to be someone from Austin who's a friend of mine and in the Kevin Nations mastermind with me. So I invited her to come hang out with her. And coincidentally, the next weekend, we hung out together here in Dallas. She had a friend, and my wife and I, and we all went and had a good time dancing and stuff like that. Big fun. And so anyway, we invited Kate on here, showed her how to turn on her banner, told her to put her website in the second thing, to mirror her video, all the stuff that I showed you, you all how to do. And we just went to talking. I'll give you like a quick snippet.
A hashtag, and
how it works here.
That actually happened on Instagram, and then I was taking.
Let's see. Whoops. Hate it when that happens. What I'm trying to do is give you an example. I can't seem to find the timeline. There
screenshots and posts.
It's because it wasn't in. You see how it pulls up whoever's talking at that time. It pulls up their face into it. So it's a really great. It's like it was like set up for interviews
you don't
perfectly.
Like hashtags because you look
here's
dumb.
An example.
So that's the beginning. So you have any other questions about on Facebook? I'm sorry to anybody who doesn't have them yet.
Well, you know,
that's unfortunate.
And so you see, as I started talking there, it pulled me up, and so you can do two things with the Hangouts here. If I can find where it's at. One is you'll notice right here, I have myself highlighted. That makes me the full-time presenter, okay? Because I want y'all to see my screen. If I took myself off, then whoever was making noise at the time, or whoever was talking or whatever, would be the person that was broadcast up here in the screen area. So we brought her on, showed her how to do it, and you can see that from the outside right here, as you look at these Hangouts, a couple things you need to know about YouTube before I tell you this next part. If you have a brand new YouTube account, and there's really not much of a reason for you right at this moment, but if you have a brand new YouTube account, you can't upload a video over 15 minutes until I think it's 10 videos that you have to have, and you have to be in good community standing and all that other stuff before they'll give you unlimited. However, if you go to Google Plus and you set up one of these Hangouts, then you've immediately got unlimited streaming to YouTube, right? Because you're not uploading it, it's actually going to stream it to YouTube. So you can do the same thing, PowerPoint, screenshots, presentations, whatever you guys want to do right here from your computer as a live Hangout. And YouTube will actually stream it, upload it, and do all that fancy stuff for you, and you don't have to buy any presentation or screencast software. It's actually really, really cool. And I'll show you a little bit more about that here in a second. But the reason why I'm showing you this is what the replay looks like. And also, if you'll notice here, there's not a number for how many views. So to give you an example, let's see here. Right here, why loan officers should be using video. According to Google right here, YouTube, this has had 1 view. And then this right here, notice that none of my other videos, even this one's got 1,337, but notice none of the Hangouts have a numbered view. Now that's a good thing, right? I'm not telling you to become a liar. I'm not telling you to exaggerate or anything else, but what I am saying is that keeps people's curiosity piqued. I wonder how many people have watched this. Right? I wonder how many views are on here. And it keeps you from having to explain yourself too. You say, hey, it just doesn't track that. You say, you know, how many the people may ask you, probably never. But if they ask you how many viewers are you getting a week, go, you know what, with Hangouts, it doesn't really track that. I don't know if you've ever done one before, and chances are they're going to say, no, I've never done one. But if you'll notice, all these Hangouts, none of them have views on them. However, from the dashboard side of things, they do have views. This is last week's from last Friday, 55 views on there. This is the one from the week before. It's got 93. The week before that's 118. So it lets me know, it just doesn't broadcast it to the world, basically. Right? And obviously another reason why I don't have a whole ton of views on some of these videos back here is they're private and just for y'all. But you can see the one that I did with Seth Larrabee right here just a few weeks ago. It's got 277 views on it already. So, and actually I've had a lot of people reach out to me because of that as well. And you can see I've done a couple with Seth and so on and so forth. And yeah, people like watching salt be poured on snails. This is the craziest thing ever, right? I just uploaded this a couple of months ago and it's got 2,200 views and people call me a murderer and everything else because of the video. Who'd have guessed it, right? But anyway, the reason why I show you all this is you see that it doesn't really have me getting a whole lot of views. You know, 50 to 100 views, we'll say, on average. But look what happens on the flip side. Now, this is all between us, right? We're all family here. Keep this between us. But you can see, like, over the course of 30 days, how that adds up. That adds up to 3,263 views just on my end. But look at that. They're hanging for a long time. They're staying on there for 10,466 minutes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Damn, it takes 10,000 minutes to earn 33 cents. And yes, I guess it does, but I don't have ads turned on any of my videos. I guess it would be a different story if I actually ran ads, but that's not my intent to monetize it from YouTube's perspective. It's my intent to monetize it so that I get to meet people like y'all, and y'all's intent to monetize it is not to run ads either. It's to get people to the content as fast as possible so that they don't click away from it before they hear your message. And it's that you are the advertisement, right? That's the whole reason we're doing this. So you can kind of see behind the scenes there. It's only 19 likes over the course of 30 days, 43 comments over the course of 30 days. So it's not like I get a huge amount of people that come there, but look, when they come there, they're there for a specific reason and they're hanging. They're hanging, what, 3 minutes or so? Right? I hate public math, so don't judge me, but they're hanging 3 minutes or so on average, right? So just to give you an idea. And that's probably a way off mathematical equation, but don't judge me, like I said. Okay, so, but that's what it does is after it's all said and done, it streamlines up into YouTube. And then it actually labels this thing a Hangout. Now what we do, and what I have Nick on board for, just simply because I'm kind of lazy and he's better at it than I am, but you can see right here how he goes back and he lists who we have on there, what we were talking about, the area, their geographic location, realtor in Pittsburgh. And if any of y'all service that area, I'd be more than happy to introduce you to Dion. She didn't seem like she had anybody she was just particularly in love with. So if any of y'all service that area, then I'll be more than happy to introduce you to her. She seems like she's one of us. And it says, of course, we mix some shenanigans and shit in along the way, right? Because Nick knows that's how I talk. But if you'll notice these blue links right here, we try to make everything as convenient as possible. Now, these are hyperlinks. And the way to do that on YouTube is you have to make sure that this http:// before the www is there, or it will not hyperlink it. And the reason why you want to make sure that wherever you're trying to get them to go is hyperlinked is two simple reasons. Like, watch where mine sends them. So you can see right here, that first hyperlink sends them right here to a squeeze page. What happens if after they enter their name and email, right? This is for complete strangers. My Facebook friends, I don't put them through this because there's no point. They're already on my list. They're on Facebook. But after they enter their name and email, in my case, it takes them right here to the live show, right? Which this is last week. So they can watch it live stream there, or they can watch last week's show, which I leave up until tomorrow when Ori and I do the new show. This week's show should be freaking ridiculous, by the way. My friend that's coming on there stays up all night, so he'll have literally been up all night and on there in the morning, and he's like an artist. Interesting guy. He has a big internet program called Make WordPress Easy. His name's Ori Bingle, but it'll definitely be fun in the morning. But anyway, so you can see that that's my goal. And the reason why I show you that is I don't expect you to know how to do all this fancy tech stuff, right? But the reason why I show you that, wait for it here.
The selling ability. So my goal is to get to 100 transactions a year, and hopefully hanging around people like you guys, that will get me there.
There we go. Okay. Sorry, I thought some lady joined us. I was like, oh no, are we streaming live? Am I sitting here being an idiot in front of everybody? Had a moment there. Okay. So you can see here again that we have these blue links. So my idea for you guys right here is if you're going to do this replay, you're going to send them to your Facebook profile. So it may say right here, local business masters number 7. Connect with me on my personal Facebook page. And if you have a local business masters Facebook page, which you can or can't do, that's up to you, depending on how creative you want to get, you can send them to that page. If you just want them to connect with you personally on your Facebook page, you just put the URL right there. Just make sure it has that HTTP in front of it so that it lights up, so that it stands out, and B, it's really easy for them just to click it and it open up. That's like super important. The easier that you can make things, the better you can explain things. Like I always say, explain it like they're 5 years old. But the better you can explain things when you write, and the easier that you can make things for them to click on to get to the ultimate destination you're trying to get them to, the better always. Simple stuff goes a long ways. So the HTTP, right? Then so you guys can put like connect with you on Facebook. Apply now if you want them to go to your mortgage site. You could even put the realtor site right there because it's going to be on your YouTube channel, so you always tell them to subscribe and all that other stuff. But so you can put this to the agent's website, whatever. You just want to make sure that you link it up. The next thing is you can see here I have the replays, and then for people that don't want to opt in, we just have that live link, which is this right here. But if you'll notice, we've got a hashtag here. And this was Nick's idea, and I'll share it with you. And you can do this on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So people can use that hashtag. Like for us, it's SM Maniacs. Which is funny because when we really thought about it, it's like well, actually it was Kate Buck that brought it to our attention. She's like, oh, so you guys going to have me on the show that's got the hashtag S&M Maniacs. I don't know about that. So kind of little, again, hardcore S&M. I don't know what's going on subliminally with my marketing here, but I guess it is what it is. But anyway, so you could come up with, like local business masters or biz masters or whatever hashtag, so that when you're streaming the show or afterwards, people can search that, find old episodes. When you promote the show, you make sure you use that hashtag. It's just something to be a little bit extra creative with. And but anyway, so that's how you can turn one interview from a Google Hangout into all this content. And then obviously from here, you take the replay, copy this link, head over to Facebook, and then you've got the ability to post, right? So you can make a post about and I'll show you really quick. These realtors and their pesky videos. Look at this guy. I told you my YouTube channel has over 435,000 views. And he is a realtor at Halo Group Realty. Pretty darn cool, y'all. He gets it. So the reason why I say that is, let me scroll back a few days if I can. Well, here's a good example just on my radio show. I sent the link over to Jerry, and I said, hey, thanks for coming on the show. And by the way, if y'all are missing that, I'm re-recording it tomorrow. The audio was terrible. But Jerry was my radio show guest yesterday, so I sent him the link over, and you see he announced on his wall, this isn't me, this is him sharing it and syndicating it, which you all know what that means at this point. But he's sharing that information and tagging me in it as well. So guess what? I got a bunch of friend requests yesterday from, I shit you not, lawyers, right? Like, where were they when I needed them in the past, damn it? But I got a bunch of friend requests from lawyers and stuff that follow Jerry because they like my sales style. And all because he came on my show, I interviewed him, and I actually had a couple of his people reach out to me. I say a couple. I have one of his friends reach out to me too and say, "Hey man, I really like what you're doing. I could mix that with what Jerry's doing with video and make a difference." So it's pretty cool, all from one having one person on. And Jerry, man, he's really good. The stuff we're gonna go over tomorrow, we went over it yesterday, but the stuff that we're gonna go over tomorrow is gonna be killer. I'll make sure that y'all get a copy of it because he's really good. This guy's got 800 and something videos up on YouTube, so he's been doing this for a minute. So that's an example of them sharing it and it getting syndicated. So now let me take you to the next step in the process. All right, so this is Blog Talk Radio. And I'll show you something here. When you go and you sign up for your very first time, you just go to blogtalkradio.com, hit sign up. And I didn't even know this, y'all. I know none of y'all are cheap bastards or anything like that, but I didn't know this, but apparently there's a free one too. So I don't have anything to gain from it, but if that fits what you're looking for, then just pick out the free one. If not, then what I use is the $39 one, just so that we're all clear on the platform that we're looking at right now. I don't know what the difference is, but bottom line, $40 a month to get people on your radio show as many times as you want them, basically. So a couple of things. These are the graphics these are the only graphics that you need for your entire radio show. These show up inside of iTunes as well. I'll show you here an example real quick. And you'll have to forgive, my computer's got this recording, streaming, hanging out, all sorts of crazy stuff, so it might be a little slow. It's hanging in there like a champ so far. So here's the iTunes store, and I want to show you what it pulled across. You see it pulled my icon from my Blog Talk Radio show right here and right here, right? When I'm going to show you how to fix all that up, but I wanted to make sure that you understood that that's the thing that it pulls across. So if you look at the iPhone, it's just going to have this is the background, this picture, and the episodes on top of it, which there's a couple, right? A few. I've been doing this for a minute. I think I started last July. Yeah, 7/6. So I need to get that to go from free to expensive somehow. Anyway, so that you can see those graphics, and I'll show you where to get those here in a few minutes. But so let's go through how to set up your Blog Talk Radio account if you want to go the audio way. Oh, I thought maybe he was going to tell us something about the training. I thought he was on here. Okay. One more time. So over here, once you get set up and logged in, we're going to go over here and we're going to go to settings. And I'm just going to walk y'all through my own account. I don't have anything to hide from you. So this picture right here that you set for your profile picture, which is under settings, profile, bam, the first thing, that's the picture that you're going to use to have your icon, right? Whatever your logo, however you're going to set that up, that's the same picture that's going to show up over iTunes and everywhere else. So you want to make sure that you have the right picture there. It says right here, 600 by 600 pixels. If some website ever recommends a size, that's the size that you need to do it by. And I'm going to show you how to get that made for $5 on Fiverr here in just a second. I go ahead and I use my own, obviously, my name, my billing address, all that good stuff. And I put my website in it, my Twitter handle, my Facebook handle. I disabled safe search, right? I just want to show up anytime anybody searches me. I don't care. Kids or whatever. I don't know why any kids would be searching for business stuff. The second step is my page. That's where you're going to name your radio show. Here's the information about calling in and your ID and all that stuff that it's going to give you. And I'll show you another place to grab that in a minute too. But you here, and you can change this as much as you want. But here is the place where you name your radio show. So there's where you would call it blogtalkradio.com/business masters /San Diego legends, whatever. And if you need some help, if y'all want to brainstorm together, start a thread back there in the Facebook group about, hey, what do you think are some good names for radio shows or interviews on Hangouts, and we'll all start chiming in back there. I'm sure that there's a couple of us that may be struggling to come up with a name, so just post back there in the group, and maybe a few of us will chime in. Hopefully, a few of us will chime in and help you come up with an idea of a name. So, show title, Rockstar Closer Radio. You want to make sure that that matches this right here. You can also, if you want to get fancy, you can put a dash in between the two. But I don't really like that. I like it to all run together. That way I don't have to say Rockstar Dash Closer. I just say Rockstar Closer. Seems easier for me. Rolls off the tongue better. The description of the show, this is what's going to show up. I'll show you here in a second on the actual Blog Talk Radio website and also inside the feed of iTunes. If you got a Skype, you can set up Skype. I'll show you how to upload your intro audio and where to get all that stuff made here in a second. Set your categories. I take the Blog Talk jingle off, right? Because I don't need their stuff. So I just disabled it. I've got my own intro. I don't need theirs. Categories business. You guys take a look. You've got real estate, social networking, management, and it doesn't have to always be business. You could do real estate one week, and next week if you have a financial planner, then you might put it under finance. If the next week you have like a local business person, you might put it under jobs, or a business or an attorney that comes on under legal. I just leave mine under business because, I don't know, I'm lazy. But you can switch yours around. That way you cover a broad category, range of categories as well. Show everyone, it's okay to cuss and still leave it as everyone. As long as you're not talking about sex, which none of you are, then it shouldn't really matter per the rules. And then that's just my show notes. Go down there right here at this part. I showed you where this was at as well. So you want to upload your header. And it gives you, again, 665 by 90 pixels. So you may want to write that down or at least know where this is at to come back to it here in a few minutes when I tell you how to get it made. Next thing is you set your notifications, your email, phone number, all that stuff that you want. Shows that you follow. I don't follow or interact with anybody on Blog Talk Radio, even though I'm sure you can network on here, and I'm sure there's lots of great radio shows. That's just, I'm here for me and my purpose and not to social network. I use Facebook and LinkedIn for that. So you can select when you get notifications and all that stuff through here. Set up your password, and then let me double check and make sure. Yeah, so I'm on the $40 a month program. All right, so let's go back over here to my account. So you can see I've had 55,627 listens. Profile views, I've had 50,000. The reason why there's 5,600 and something more than 55,500 and something more than listens than profile views is people have either found me from my website or they found me from iTunes, right? And I'll show you all the statistics on that stuff here in a second. If you're going to get and again, I'm going to show you how to get around Fiverr here in a second, but if you're going to get audio, like an intro made to the radio show from Fiverr, which I had mine made for $5. Keep the secret between us, right? But I got mine made, the kick-ass one that I have on Fiverr for $5. And so all you got to do is once you get it bought on Fiverr is you upload. Let me show you again. Right here. You upload and edit the audio files, and I'll show you one more time. That's under my account. Upload and edit audio files. And then you just add a new file. You give it a name. Always leave the volume at 50%. Hit the select file right there. It's going to pull up. Like for example, I have audio in here, and I'll show you another cool thing as well. But see, I have audio all in here that I can upload as the intro. Or any kind, it doesn't have to be an intro, it can be any kind of audio. And that's what I was going to say is, like for example, Craig Robertson, he's the linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. And we did this interview about 3 weeks ago, and I pre-recorded it through the conference call that we all used. I just pre-recorded it, and I could actually upload this, which you'll see here in a second, into Blog Talk Radio and just push play. And so I don't even have to be there live to do the radio show. It can go out because of pre-recordings as well. And so that's simply by selecting it and then hitting the open button, obviously, and I'll show you how that works here in a second. So any kind of audio, whether it's something funny, your intro, another episode, whatever the case you want, you can upload it in there just by doing that. And then you can even add multiple. I mean, you can have as many as you want back there stored up for the $40. And then as you can see here, here's my archive, the ones that I already have back there. Wait for it. There we go. See, Corey Shanes is a guest that I've already pre-recorded and uploaded. Craig Robertson, again, another guest that I just showed you. And then my intro, and you see how I have it listed as default startup audio. So I don't have to record my intro every time. It just starts automatically. Double check something there. Are you serious? All right, sorry about that. Let me turn my screen back on. Hopefully I wasn't gone too long. Back to Jeff. All right, sorry about that. I guess my internet or computer or something flopped off for a second. So notice I have this set to default start audio. There's Craig's audio, Corey from before. So all I've got to do at this point is when it's time for the show, go over to Studio, and this is your control panel for while your show's live or whatever. I'll show you how to schedule a show next. But you see, it's 5 days until my next episode, but I'm going to actually set one up now for tomorrow. Excuse me. I'm going to set one up now for tomorrow. So you can see I've got Corey back here. So when this comes live and it's time for the episode, then I can just push play on these, and the intro does it automatically, but I can just push play on these, and it'll all of a sudden start putting the broadcast on or the interview on as if we're live on the air. If you just now joined us, hit the mute button. Let me see if I can. I know the internet sometimes drives us in and out. Let's see. There we go. Nope, one room. Wait for it. Anyway. Okay, so there's your audio clips and everything. Now I'm going to show you. This is your host call-in number, or you can do it directly through Skype, or they've got a little program called Zengaya, but that's what screwed up my audio last week. So I do not recommend hitting the microphone and letting it do its own thing that way, because Jerry's audio last week it's obviously I'm having to take time out of my schedule to re-record it. He was late to the show, and the audio sucked, and I'm just like, you know what, man, scratch it. Let's just do it again on Friday. So we're going to go over here to my account. And so I'm going to schedule a show for tomorrow. So I'm going to go right here to schedule a show. So to take a step back, I went to my account, schedule and edit a show. I'm going to give it a name. This is the name of his company. Just a good word for all of us. Always make sure you spell your people's names right. I've made that mistake before. The good thing about see, I just made it again. It's OGEN. The good thing about the web is you can always go back and fix stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a description. So and I'll show when you do, like for me, I have reoccurring episode every Wednesday at 1. So once I put the description of the show in once on a reoccurring, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute too, but it automatically pulls that stuff over every time, so I don't have to keep going back and see, because I could set up a recurring one the same way we're doing this. But this is just a one-off, so I'm going to give it attorney, video marketing, because that's what we're going to talk about, business, sales, and then I'm going to name it after him. Because if people are searching, this guy's got 800 videos, right? So if people are searching for him, then I want to make sure that they get a chance to land on my site. So let's see what we're going to do. We're going to name this as marketing, since it's a one-off deal. Visibility to everyone. I do 30-minute shows, so I make the duration 45 minutes, right? That way, if the guest is doing really good and we need to, hold it over or whatever the case, so I do it for 15 minutes. So if you're going to do a 45-minute show, make it for 60, so on and so forth. So I'm going to do this show tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's non-recurring. See, I could set it up to where it'd be recurring as well, but I'm going to set it up tomorrow at 11 a.m. So Friday is going to be, what? 17, 18, July. My trip, oh, here we go. Sort of say, that's running into August. I'm not paying close enough attention here. Sorry about that. So I'm going to pick it for the 19th, which is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Down here, I'm going to take my image out, right, because this is just the episode image. And then I'm going to pull Jerry's picture, which I've already screenshot and saved. There you go. That way when he shares it, it's his picture that's shared. I'm going to make sure that I have the right startup audio, which is my intro in this case. Submit, and we just set a show up. And then from there, you see how the reoccurring one, so all I've got to do is come through here and hit the edit button and change the name. I'll show you real quick. Like, matter of fact, I'll do this real quick before we move on so that you can see it. So you see how it automatically brought the subscribe and all that other stuff over there? Let me pull up who's my guest next week so that I can legitimately say it's Victor Bell. So I'm going to name the title I am not a good speller. So that's the name of Victor's company, Warhorse Strength. Yeah, he's actually a member of our group back here, but he's also a member of the masterminds. He's just observing the group back here. He's a member of Kevin Nations and the mastermind with me there. So I'm going to go through all this because he actually does real estate and internet marketing and social media. Those are his things. He's in the business category. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and select him as entrepreneur. And then I believe I have Victor's picture in here too. If I don't, I'll show you how. No, all I have is that. So I'll show you real quick where I go to grab pictures of people. Oops. So I'm just going to go over here to Facebook. This is my PR guy, in case y'all ever wondered. That's him. I know, Dan, you were asking about him. So this is Victor, right? He obviously uses the same PR guy too. Let me see if I can. He's a weight training guy. So here we go. That's a good picture there. So I'm going to take this, and this is called Snagit, which is like a $20 piece of software, or most computers already have something like this already built in. So I'm just going to come through here, cut this out, bring it over here. You know, just drag, drop, cut, and paste type of stuff, nothing fancy. I'm going to save this as his name. For my benefit in Rockstar Closer, because he's a guest on there. So I'm going to go back over here, now that I've gotten a picture of him, and I'm going to select right here, go to Rockstar Closer. We know he's going to be at the bottom here, because he's a V. pull Victor into the deal there, hit update. And so now my reoccurring episode for next week's already set up too. So it's, really easy to go in as you're adding people. If you say, I'm going to do this every Wednesday, which is what I do it. Like if you say I'm going to do this once a week, then it's really easy just to go in and add the small details by setting up a recurring. And I'm a big believer in consistency, if y'all haven't noticed that yet anyway. So, but that's like the ins and outs of Blog Talk Radio. And I'll give you an idea how many listens and stuff. So yeah, like I said, you get 55,000. I'll give you like a good overview real quick of how many listens I'm attracted on a week. So I'm getting 1,300 people per episode, 1,000 people per episode. So I'd say probably on average 1,000 or so people that listen per show. And I'm always giving them new content, which is good. That's a good steady audience. It hasn't always been that way, y'all. So far this month, we've had 3249. I don't catch a whole lot of live listeners, believe it or not, which is why I started pre-recording them anyway. So not a lot of people are just like foaming at the mouth to get there. But what is happening, as you'll see here in a second, is people go to the gym or their way to the work. They're listening to this broadcast from either their work or their iPhone or iPod. My podcasts are starting to grow up. So you can see here that I've got 387 subscribers on iTunes, and I've only been pushing that for about 2 months now. So there's been a lot of people subscribe, obviously, on iTunes as well. So, and that's again part of the reason why there's 50,000 views and 55,000 listens. Is 400 people hitting 4 episodes a month doesn't take too long to add up to an extra couple thousand people. And so anyway, you kind of get an idea of my numbers over the course of this year. 26,000 listeners so far this year, which puts me more than on track to get over 50,000 full listeners for the year. And you can see every month, I had a little dip right there, but every month I'm steadily growing. I should be able to bypass that by a long shot this month because I'm already way ahead of it. So that kind of gives you an idea what you can expect. When I looked at Garrett's show, he was pretty close to the same numbers I was too, and he's only been doing this for a couple of months now. I've told you I've made some like stupid mistakes, which is why y'all are in this mastermind, so you can learn from some of those stupid mistakes. But for the first, and why I want to take you through this tutorial, because for the first few months, I forgot to take my show off, like unblock the search engines and not make sure it wasn't marked mature and all those other things, right? And so I forgot to do all that. So learn from my mistake, because you can see as I go back to like episode 1, there's 68, 39. There was like nobody. And this is 2 years old. Look at this. 1 listen on 10.5. Now, y'all just leave it at 1. I like the bragging point that I still have a show with only 1 listen. But you can see, like, it wasn't like I started out. But watch this. Let me show you something. These are all me talking, right? Reason why this has more than anything else, I invited somebody on there. And I noticed, wow, I invited somebody on there, 268 views. Well, what happened is Travis is telling everybody this side of the planet that he was interviewed on a sales radio show. And it dawned on me. So I still had this thing blocked, so I started inviting people on, right? Started doing interviews. It was a little bit slow. Didn't grow as much, but you can see it started growing the more I interviewed people. And you can see there's a point right here where I just started doing nothing but interviewing people. And it was at the point where I interviewed Chad Hessing, which was a local, he's a day trader, not a day trader. He owns a company called Cobra Trading, and it's like an E-Trade, but for, the common folk or whatever, right? But no, I'm sorry. It's like an E-Trade, but for super rich people, right? He looks for that kind of, anyway. He is his wife was a friend of mine from high school, and he reached out to me and asked could he be interviewed on my radio show. And I said, yeah, and it was at that point I noticed that 561 people listened to Chad, whereas only 60 people or so listened to me, right? And that's what really sprung it forward. So I invited somebody else who was famous on. I'm like, last week I had the owner of Cobra Trading. Then I brought Virginia Munden on, who is a real estate agent, 297. Then I brought Chris, who is a real estate agent, 502. Sean Mathis, 741. Wendy Forsythe. And you can just see the numbers escalate because these people were out there sharing the fact that they were interviewed on this radio show. And then you see what happened. Look at Tanya. She's been promoting the hell out of it. 1,721 views. But then you see what happens, fellas. When it's just me, I was still getting 1,000 views because their people were introduced to me and they were sticking with me. And so you can see, like right here, this is all me, 1,100 views. Right here, this is all me, 3,000 views so far. And a lot of that, you have to remember that all this is out there and accessible by the search engines as well. But look, I've had a whole bunch of people come on here and be interviewed. And each one, especially the people that don't have a lot of information about them, which you'll run into a lot, has really helped me grow my brand a whole lot, all the way to 55,000 strong. So pretty damn cool. All right. So last stop today is Fiverr.com. This is where you're going to get all your stuff made on the really, 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 really cheap. Actually, this isn't the last stop. This is the next to last stop. Let me hit this up with one more. Let me go ahead and plug it in here so I don't forget. If you have any questions on Blog Talk Radio, Google Hangouts, any of this stuff, man, do not hesitate to reach out to me. But first, ask it in the group setting. That way, there may be 2 or 3 more of you that have the same question, and that way I can try to address it in front of everybody and just make everything easier for all of us. So Fiverr, you go over here, you sign in. You can even log in with your Facebook. I happen to have an account already, so it's no big deal. If you log in with your Facebook, always make sure that you make it to where when they post, if they post on your behalf, that only you can see it. So make sure that it's a private post. So over here on Fiverr, a couple things we're going to do. I should not have killed that tab. Hang on here. Go to settings so we can get the dimensions right. I'm going to use this for example. 600 by 600 pixels. So what I do over here at Fiverr is I would go to graphics. It's going to pull up people. I do graphics designing for $5. Do any graphic work for $5. So I would just reach out to them, find some pictures that I like off the internet, shoot them over to them, and then send them the dimensions. This guy's got a 100% positive rating. He'll do any graphics for $5. Tell him exactly what you want. He's from Australia, so he speaks English, so you know that he's going to understand. He's a top-rated seller. He's got 8 orders in his queue, and at 264 people he served for 100%. That's pretty damn good. So you order it now. And what happens is for $5, you're going to send him the dimensions and exactly what you want as far as the picture for your podcast. You just explain, hey, I'm getting an iTunes podcast or Blog Talk Radio show. I need this to be 600 by 600, whatever that fancy thing is, right? I need the dimensions to be 600 by 600 and put all the details in there. And then a couple days later, they'll shoot it over to you. And if you like it, you say yes. If you don't like it, you have them make 1 round of changes is all you get. And then they'll be generally more than happy to do that. And then they'll ask you to give them 100% rater. Now, he can do all this other stuff for extra money if you're interested. You know, I can do more complex graphics. I can do even more complex graphics for $40, complete graphics package for $40. So there's some other stuff, but you can literally, I got the picture that I got for $5. So that puts it in perspective. Then you come back with another $5, and you're going to find out your page, which is 665 by 90. So you go back and you buy another thing for 60. Now, for those of you that have kids that know how to do all this stuff, then by all means just have them design it for you, or those of you that have IT departments that know how to do this stuff too. But at least you'll know now where to get the stuff on Fiverr. Same thing. So for any kind of graphic works, here's the other thing that I told you about. You can go to YouTube views, and I'll show you real quick. Look at this. I'll add 1,250 YouTube views to your video for $5. Right? Think about like the strategy of going in, interviewing an agent, uploading that interview, even if you did it live in their office, right? Not even through the Google Hangout. Say you did it live in their office or through the Google Hangout, and you were able to show them that there was 1,250 people that watched the interview with them. How powerful would that be? And you know what? Perception's reality. It was 1,250 people that looked at them. I don't know how the hell these people get traffic. Do you? No. So like, why argue with them? Let's just go with it and be like, hey, we found a cheap traffic source, right? And so what if it's like, you know, I don't know, people from Morocco or something like that that are checking it out? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The fact is it happens. That's the thing about YouTube is you just know people are watching it. You don't know who until they reach out to you. I know that some of you watch them because you reached out to me, and that's how we became in this place. So you can go get cheap. I mean, dudes, anything that you could want, you could pretty much get on here for $5 when it comes to social media, websites, setting up a fan page, having people do testimonials, like all sorts of crazy shit on here. And you can just literally browse the good old Fiverr site for as long as you need, and or as often as you need for $5 to get stuff. Just be careful, because sometimes you'll end up checking out and you'll be like, damn, I bought $400 worth of shit. Damn it. All right, last thing is these audios. So let's go over here and let's do this. And I'm going to give you an example. Like I said, I'm taking you behind the scenes into my world today, so you're going to see everything that I do. This we got 4 minutes left. I may run 10 minutes over. I hope y'all don't trip. So here's the link to my best friend who, poor guy, got fired, man. His fucking company fired him for coming on this show without permission. He didn't even mention his company, I don't think. And he was like their top producer too, man. He gave some kick-ass content on here. I feel like, well, I mean, it ain't my fault or his. I guess it's just companies. Sean Mathis, damn it, sorry. Sean Mathis, his company didn't like him being on there on my show either. But anyway, so you take this audio. This was a good show. And so I'm going to want this transcribed into a book. I come over to Odesk. That's O, the letter, odesk.com. I'm going to sign up, or in my case, I'm going to log in. Now, the thing is with Fiverr and Odesk, they take PayPal. So it's completely protected. It's VeriSign. It's PayPal. You can't lose your money. You can challenge anything, but they're safe, dude. I've never been ripped off on these sites. Matter of fact, on Odesk one time, I tried to cancel a job and not pay. The chick hit me up on Skype and said that she canceled the job for me and went ahead and did the graphics. She's like, I just don't want a bad review, because I wasn't happy with what she did. She sent me all brand new ground. Of course, I went back in, gave her a good review, and paid her the rest of the money. But I mean, these people really are really honest in their work here. So what you do is you take the audio link, right? So here's the audio link, copied it, and say I want to turn this into a book because it was a great interview, an ebook, right? Like a PDF report, like the Follow Me report that's in the back of the group there. I go to post the job, enter all the information, need audio transcribed. You've got all that stuff right here. Sales and markets, business services, writing and translation. There you go. And so you go give your job a title, describe the work to be done. So you just tell them, hey, I've got this link, got 45 minutes worth of audio that needs to be transcribed. Pick out their skills. How much are you willing to pay? All that. And you can literally, what I do is I just pay by the job. And for something like this, I would put $20. Somebody will sit down for 30 minutes and transcribe that and send it back to you for $20. Trust me. Somebody in the Philippines, that's big money to them, right? The average person makes like $5 a month or some shit. It's crazy. I know it's not a little bit more than that, but still, that's a good lick, $20 for 30 minutes worth of time. And then you just, when you're done, fill out that advanced option, notes. What happens is, and then you can do all that kind of stuff too, but upload it. Don't need any kind of document or any of that stuff. Post the job, people will apply for it, and then what you're able to do is pick out who you think is going to be the best person for the job. So let's look at this, for example, of a posted job that I've done. Oh, I just deleted them, but so I need a Kajabi programmer, I need a phone app or iPhone app. So, wow, that's a long time ago. Y'all can tell I've been using this for a while. The filled positions that I've done here, I need someone who can transcribe 4 hours of audio. I shit you not, right? For $100, y'all, this dude transcribed really what was 5.5 hours of audio. I got to put a little sales spin on it a little bit, but really it was way more than 4 hours of audio. It was 8 episodes of my show, so who knows how long it really was. But he literally did it for $100. But you know what? I was grateful, so I gave him $125. All right, I figured 25% tip. That's not bad. And I was just appreciative because Blog Talk Radio wants $115 a transcription. But here's the next step that I've got to do now. And maybe those of you that have assistants or a wife or kid with writing skills or somebody it's a little different. But for me, what I've got to do is I've got to go back now and post a job in Odesk for someone that can take the transcription that this guy did and turn it into an actual book. which will obviously cost me a little bit more money, but let's just say that that's $150 per transcription turned into a book, right? Which is still pretty cheap. I think I can probably get them around 50, but we'll say 150 to be expensive. The next step is to go to kdp.amazon.com once that book's been transcribed. And again, you can get the graphics for the book from Fiverr, right? That's where I got the graphics for my video book. And KDP is Kindle Direct Publishing, and that's Amazon. Every one of you, unless you live under a rock, do two things. You shop at Walmart and Amazon, and unless some of you are activists. But you can see here, I upload my book. I made it $2.99. I have two books, How to Calculate Your Real Estate Taxes and How to Video Market Your Mortgage Business. This one, they're $2.99 each, or if you join KDP Select, then they're free. And you say, Ryan, why would you want to give a free book away? Couple things. Giving a free book away, to me, at the end of each one of those transcripts, I'm going to make sure there's a call to action. I can't remember which one of you it is, but one of you just joined the group, and that's exactly what happened. Is you read that book, and at the end it said fill out the strategy session form, and now you're in the group with us. And so that's what you're going to put. Obviously, lead by example, right? That's what you're going to put in your book, so that there's a strong call to action. If you'd like to find out if you qualify for a mortgage in order to work with Dana, the RE/MAX agent, then by all means, reach out to me, Ryan Stewman, fill out this form, all that stuff, because you can embed that in the PDF book. When we get that far, when you guys get this far down the road and you start doing this stuff, then I'll help you 100%. So, but you can see, you just upload it to Kindle Direct Publishing. Really simple. Just add new title. Go through all their steps, which is super easy, and then you just upload the PDF title, the PDF file to it, upload the book cover, submit it. Like literally, it's 2 steps, and this is what happens. Your content gets syndicated on an Amazon author page as well. So now all of a sudden, people can look me up on Amazon and see I have a book with 4 stars, or 5, right? I'm downgrading myself. A book with 5 stars and another book with 0 reviews. I don't think I've ever even sold one of these because nobody gives a shit about calculating real estate taxes. But the fact is, I have a book there so that when people look me up on Amazon or people look me up on the internet, they're like, damn, this dude writes books. Right? So if you have interviews with experts and you're the business person, you're the mortgage person, in Waylon's case, the insurance person, same with Sean, like think of that, just having that much of your content syndicated. It went from a radio or a video interview, because you can send the link to the Google Hangout interview that you did over to Odesk as well and have them translate, right? Just because it's a video and not audio doesn't mean they can't translate the words from it, right? So you got an interview, a book uploaded to Amazon.com, all this shit, the book, the interview, the video, the radio show, every bit of that passed around on LinkedIn, Facebook, by you, your title company, the person that was interviewed, by all your friends. You get their friends, like you get as big a push as you can to get that out. I'll help you once you get to there as well. As big a push as you can to get that out. And I shit you not, man. You continue doing this for 60 days with this strategy, and let's say in 60 days at once a week, you're going to have 8 interviews under your belt, whether you're doing it through video or Blog Talk Radio. You will be the go-to person for that shit in your area. Like, and you'll see, you'll get 400, 500 views on your shows and on your radio shows, just because you guys will be able, and I'll be able to help you with this as well, SEO it from a local standpoint. I'm not getting as many views because I'm not niching it down to specific markets. Imagine if I added the words Dallas, Texas, or whatever in front of some of my videos. So, all right, all that to say this. Now you've got the task. You've got the information. You know how to run the panels. You know how to run Google+. You know how to run all these, the sites, everything that you need to know. This replay will be up in the group before long. But here's the biggest part. The biggest part to all this. You need to go out now and set at least 2 appointments for interviews, right? Don't, like I said in last week's training, don't invite pussies to your interviews, right? If you're going to make it business masters, don't fuck around. Go out and find some business masters. I promise you they will be fucking flattered to be interviewed by you or to be on a radio show. My friend Christine Haas charges $25,000 fucking dollars for people to come do an interview with her and her crew, right? So when you offer them right? Because the news sucks, the media sucks. Nobody really likes or watches TV. We just like freaking grew up with it. So now you're offering a new media, a new way for them to brag about themselves, and you recognize their expertise. Shit, now go out there and set at least a couple of appointments and get this strategy working. If you want to, if you set it with divorce attorneys or something else, and you want to know exactly what questions you should ask or whatever, throw it back there in the Facebook group. That way we can all chime in on it, and we'll make this shit happen. So with that being said, let me go back over here to the Google Hangout thing. I'm a bobber here. Some of you got this thing going on the car, driving, and all that fun stuff. So with that being said, that's it. I'll send the replay and the recording up in the group. Appreciate y'all coming on today. And, you know, all this is really cool. It's been fun. Now go fucking do some of this shit, make some money!